it's not going for a cocktail build. So we're going to Sky Temple. This is BlossoM's map pick. A very common one that teams will go for after winning a one-sided game one, because they want to minimize the game time, show less strategies, and Sky Temple is, historically speaking, the fastest map in the pool. I say that, you know, now, but it's changed a little bit. I'd say that these days we've seen a lot of fast games on BOE, but Sky Temple's a safe pick. You know that you're a great macro team by comparison. I just want to see the change. I want to see the move away from that Blaze priority. Blaze is so strong, but in a meta that's sustain-based, especially on Infernal Shrines, where you literally fight over a shrine for an extended period, you can't try to outdo Deckard.
Yes, and also because of Thrall and Irel, Blaze barely ever and close to never gets banned. And even if you have 6, because they focus on DPS and the solo lane so much, there are other heroes that does a better of a job sometimes. So Blaze not really banned all the time. Is it really worth picking before the second ban phase? They just want to have that combo secured. I know they want to go for the comfort picks, but in these kind of matches, these kind of games, I think it's trials has to be done sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they trialed and it was an error.
Yeah, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah, so
change one thing, but not changing like 4 things at a time. That's never. That's not what we learned from science class.
No.
Just have your control variables stay the same. Change one, see if that works. If it doesn't, move on. Change one other thing. Then I was really disappointed because I was expecting a Kamehameha, at least something like it. You know, some Planet Cracker action, and then just Greymane dives in, gets the kill on the Junkrat, and that's the beginning of the team fight where GLuck can actually turn things around. Savo never got the value. Phoenix, it seems like he's having a hard time.
Certainly seems that way for now, GLuck. But Overlord might be playing a different hero this game. I hope that we have a more adaptive draft here. We will have the white main ban first. They will have first pick this time, which they did not previously, so they were probably thinking like, maybe there's like 1 in a million chance Genji isn't banned, but no. Not to be the case. This will very likely be the Maiev ban, and then we'll see the final ban of Diablo coming through. They have an opportunity here to try to get the Deckard first pick or the Diablo first pick if they leave both of them open. Maiev, not first pick worthy in my opinion on this battleground, so that's not something you necessarily worry about here. There's the Diablo ban.
And last time it was Alex Raza within the first 4, so they have another one because they banned out Genji for some time. And on this map, I think Maiev is actually, this map is one of the worst map for Maiev. You can't really have any crazy wall, too many of them, to actually dive in and surprise your opponent like TOD or Spider.
Yeah, it's definitely a weak map for her because the lanes are so far apart. Now, this
I know you want to show off your skin. Pretty cool, I know.
This is like almost an unacceptable pick, GLuck. I think if you are going to
go run,
you might as well
go run right now.
Like, you might as well have just picked Battleground instead of first pick if you're going to first pick Muradin. In this meta, Muradin, first pick, everything you did in that ban phase, you banned the white main, you left Deckard open, and you didn't take him, and you took Muradin. Yes. I don't think if I gave them 20 minutes, they could prove to anyone or explain to anyone why this was the right choice.
I don't know.
I'm like, are we going to redo?
I don't know if I want to spend 20 minutes listening to it.
Are we going to do a redo on the draft?
Okay,
is this a bug?
Sonya, though. Okay, Sonya has been falling out because Irel was better of an upgrade version of Sonya. Most of the time, we have Irel open, but they're going back super far. With Raynor? Okay, this is certainly something crazy happening for GLuck.
This starts to feel like a Tyrael. No, you can't pick Tyrael anymore. I don't know, man. Let's let it play on out, but uh-oh, guess what? Malfurion's banned again.
Yeah, double support? Okay, they're banning out Irel, so clearly that has been the pick that favorite pick.
Yeah, that was smarter this time than the Thrall ban we saw last time.
I'm feeling double
GLuck.
support. I can smell it a little
But
bit.
which supports, like Tassadar
Yeah, Tass
and
on
Uther?
Raynor actually works really well. Ooh, let's not talk about Uther.
Rhaegar, Kharazim. Okay, well this is going to be pretty standard. They took the Garrosh. Probably still a little bit puzzled themselves about the Muradin pick. Like, what?
Right wing Sky Temple?
What about Abathur double support? Was something like a Rhaegar Abathur? I mean, Abathur's good with Sonya, decent with Raynor. Maybe something like that could work out here.
And again.
I gave it a pass last game, GLuck, and I thought it was creative. And we saw the Grey Mane pick come through, and you and I tried to explain what the potential was. I cannot give this one a pass. Last time we saw this duo, the Ana Li Ming, was in BlizzCon 2017. It was Rich playing it with Sake. That was the duo that had a lot of success with this combination. And it was just nano boosted Li Mings, resets galore. And it was not Rich, by the way. So it was reset on the Li Ming and Sake on the Ana.
Even nano boost Sonya is actually really strong.
Is it? GLuck?
But once I've seen plenty enough games where Sonya dives in too far and cannot get the healing from Ana. Because they don't have anyone else like Irel or Blaze. Muradin can soak a little bit, but Muradin can't really peel off a character off of Sonya when that's attached to her, like a Diablo. It's a little bit off in terms of what they want to do. I can already picture it in this case. First pick Muradin, maybe they wanted to hide these picks, but there was no real reasons, I feel like. They were never going to be banned, all 5 these heroes from GLuck. Like maybe Raynor, but the other 4 had no chance of getting banned or taken away.
Yeah, I mean, boss control, boss clear time. Look at, I mean, they have Lornado, Custom Mine, boss clear for Hanzo, Blaze is there for Bunker, Garrosh. It feels like GLuck is trying to win this off of a nano boosted Li Ming. And that can work. It's going to be Myson, who's shown some decent Li Ming this week already.
And we do have Gondar back in DPS, by the way, and Okana on that front line. They were having some struggles yesterday because of that change. I think this one worked a lot better, they should say, even though Gondar has not been known as the best ranged assassin. He can get some experience and test how he feels on that Hanzo. I think he can show a little bit today.
Against a team like against a team like GLuck, I think it's the right move, but I do think that if we talk about the greater scheme of the season, like it's gonna have to be all or nothing. Because if it's half the time DPS and half the time tank, that team doesn't go to BlizzCon.
I know you're a big anti-fan of all the role swaps.
Tell me a non-NA team that like goes to BlizzCon that has role swaps every other map.
Genji.
Really?
Tempest. Sometimes.
Well, we'll see how Lockdown does throughout the season. If he plays off tank every time, then I think that, you know, that could be really strong. He's also played that role in the past. Whereas Gondar's kind of going into the DPS for the first time. If he plays it all season, then he has a season of experience, right? So that's something different. But every other map, or every other series, I worry for BlossoM if that's the case.
Oh, they certainly do have to break through that top 3 if they want to go to BlizzCon. Rockstar first pick Muradin. We'll see. We'll have some focus on Muradin, as it's never a bad pick, but not a crazy top. Never a crazy top tier ever since that Unstoppable on the Dark Toss went away.
I think this is his best map actually because of how you can operate on the bottom shrine and
the
escape.
Bush, yes.
Yeah, and you can. There's a lot of bushes like around the boss as well that Muradin can lurk in and get vision. Whereas on a map like Cursed, for example, or on Infernal Shrines, like Muradin can't do as much there. Uh-oh, Roxer is caught. I don't know if he has Dwarf Toss.
Okay, that was the correct path. But one more skill shot.
Close call there.
And you don't need as much of a healing from your support as well. Maybe that was the reason, and they wanted to bring their DPS later. We'll see how this works. But overall, BlossoM is quicker of a rotation for now. And they're having Muradin alone, not rotating with the team, then that's bad news.
Yeah. Look, post 10 is when this comp is going to look like a real team. And that's when, you know, we're going to have Wave of Force, we're going to have the Nano Boost, and that's when GLuck can have these crazy team fights, because Ana does break the game with Nano Boost when you've got a mage like Li Ming. But until then, they just need to make sure they don't get behind. If Asgard lives here, which he should now that KCB is here, then this is solid. But it's kind of like BlossoM, if they get ahead, if they get 10 first and get like a boss, GLuck's gonna have such a hard time in this game. But if they can stay even like they are right now, have decent rotations, then there's certainly a world in where GLuck takes this game. They're behind on the Shrine right now.
We have the ping onto Gondar. Let's see.
Already dropped the Q in. Here's Roxer, gets the stun. That's
nice.
First blood. And this could be a double. And if that gets... Oh, that's, I don't know, going to save him or not. He does get the lifesteal there.
Not enough damage now, but that was a great try. I mean, they know that they are behind just a little bit. Post 13, like what we saw from Modern in Game 1, Junkrat will be a semi-global-ish with that Ripper Air on 13. It's really hard to outsoak when you don't have any global for your own side. Look at that, getting second
that's a reset.
kill.
It's going to be a trade, unfortunately. Hong Kong's got too much armor. It's the engage here. BlossoM just wants those final shots, and they will get them. That's the weakness of a late rotation to Shrine. So your opponent can contest after finishing theirs. So BlossoM gets slightly more structural damage done here. Now, what I really do like to see is the split push that we're seeing right now from Overlord. He's down there just guaranteeing further soaks so they don't get too far behind. Because again, as long as BlossoM can't make a big play with a 10 advantage, GLuck has, I think you could say that at that point they're on even footing in this game for team fights.
Smart invasion here, as they know Sonya with that gigantic down wave. She has to be there at least 10 plus seconds. Even grabbing onto Overlord will be very nice for BlossoM. No escape.
Yeah, body blocks there, really well done. Hong Kong, I think he's really come back into his own as a main tank. His Diablo previously, and now this Garrosh, just setting up a lot of big plays. And like you said, it's just that map awareness that BlossoM has that allows him to make a play like this. And if they get this healing well on top of that and 10, then suddenly this game looks like it's gone out of GLuck's control.
Yeah, the snowball will be crazy. Myson, the Li Ming after teleport, what can you really do?
And because Overlord was dead, no one's soaking mid. I mean, Ana had to go there, so she's not here to heal, and she could, like, she's got horrible wave clear.
Maybe they could have killed Modern, but he chose not to.
This exact situation is the one they needed to prevent. This exact situation. And it's 2 deaths and a poor rotation that caused this. Now BlossoM can snowball this game super hard. The bot fort is already damaged. There's no healing well down there. This is perfectly timed with the Shrine. And GLuck is just going to be playing the rest of this game with one hand tied behind their back.
Maybe 2 hands and a feet tied behind their back. This gap is not closing. And we're getting that Junkrat 13 soon. The second tempo, so they want to try something before. See, that's the reason why we have Garrosh so many times, even banned out. If you don't have Irel, if you don't have Blaze, which very likely you will, but not just that, you will have Garrosh, who can just throw your teammates when they're in a bad position. He can fix it for you.
Yeah. So all the time they spent trying to get that pick without 10 allowed the boss to do further damage here. Asgard is going to get them 10. I highly doubt it's going to be Disintegrate. I think Wave of Force is just necessary in this situation when you're relying on Nano Boost. Okay, Roxer taking a ton of damage already here. Zoned out by the Scroll of Sealing.
On the Sonya, the even Ankana really low, but that's going to be a turnaround. Merryday, he's off to a good zone. Look at that Rip Tire.
Bison got the reset here. He has the Nano Boost. Does not hit that onto Honkono. That would have been another reset, but he fails.
Gondar jumps over, gets the kill instead. He wanted to secure before leaving, got more resets. So that was actually a pretty bold move from Gondar.
Yeah, it certainly was. If he survives, if Myson survives, then suddenly this fight is not a 2-for-2. It's actually something like a 4-for-2.
Yeah, she gets dominance, she gets the HP back and all the skill shots back with the reset. So
exactly.
Gondar has actually sacrificed himself to end that team fight there.
Yeah, that's so true, GLuck, because that's the snowball you have to prevent. So playing well around GLuck's strengths here. It still ended up being, you know, a massively favored trade for BlossoM because they get control of the shrine, because they had the bot push. Look at the bot keep. It's already taking so much damage here at 8 minutes into the game. If they get this full shot, it's going to nearly kill it. In fact, it might actually just be enough.
BlossoM at 13. GLuck does not want to be near this tempo right now.
Asgard's going in. Arrow is going to miss. So did the concussive mine, so Asgard can thank his lucky stars for that. Or he would have been a dead Sonya. These are going to be the last temple shots. I think it's just barely not enough to hit that keep. I don't know, man. Yeah, just barely not.
Less than about 10% HP now then. Ooh, see a while. Hanzo damage does continue on Kono. Is coming from the bottom, so that's not the path you want to go.
Modern Life knocks himself into the fight. He's going to do tons of damage. Here's the slow into the root. It's actually Deckard Meride who gets the final kill there. That's enough damage from Scroll of Sealing. This should be the Siege Giants that guarantee them bot keep. And now they're just running circles around GLuck, unfortunately. Nano Boost is available. And if Myson flanks and gets a nano, there's an opportunity here. Easier said than done. There's so many minions here, so I think he's missed his chance now.
You have to get the wave first, then. The ones behind. The Overlord grade 1 to push out. The Jet Propulsion, nicely done at the time.
Oh man, look at what Meride is able to do here. Just locking him up. Riptire coming through now. A little bit late on that one, but still going to be very impactful here. Just making sure they can get a safe retreat.
Still does tons of damage. And it just delays what GLuck is trying to do, as their minion wave is actually not really good on the mid lane, or even the top lane. It's not really doing direct damage to the wall.
Look at Modern Life again. He's just soaking. Just wants to make sure they have 16 first, that they don't get behind.
Look at where Meride is. That's not the positioning where the support would be in. Look at that!
Oh, but he catches Ana. That's the ping. There's the follow-up stun. Slow and the seal. Blown up as KCB. That was so well done. The ping and everything about that was super coordinated. That's the kind of play I want to see an instant replay on, you know? Like, that's coordination.
Myson would love to get a kill, but he's the one focused in this case.
He does get a reset from the takedown, though, and he's going to re-engage here. If Asgard plays this correctly, Myson could pop off. Do they have the confidence to do it? Wave of Force, not enough. He needs more. Uses that. Calamity gets a reset. Wiz, caught. Asgard's making this happen right now. Gondar is going to go down.
That was a close call.
Well played by Asgard in that moment to set that up. You could feel that there was a bit of fear for Myson, like he wasn't confident in himself for a second, but there he goes. That was really cool. Everything about that fight was great. The commitment to kill KCB meant that there was not going to be a major nano in the fight, but they used all their cooldowns on that. And GLuck realized that and capitalized big.
And Sonya dove in really well to the back line where Deckard and also Junkrat was. And meanwhile, their entire tank was basically saying, oh, we want like a couple of last fight, we should win this one too. No, it is not. Sonya is actually really, really strong. You forget how strong she is as a bruiser. She just wiped out the back line, which gave some chances for Gleaming to get that reset. That critical mass helps every single time.
Indeed. Overlord just cleaning up the mid. Still going to be a heavily damaged keep in mid lane, but it's not actually going to be destroyed. Love Hunk on his positioning here. But GLuck actually wants to, now that they have 16, escort the boss, it looks like. Trying to set up in the bush right now, thinking the BlossoM will rotate down. Because BlossoM does not, they're going to steal this camp and look for a keep. If they get this keep, they can actually even out keeps, at least for the time being.
But BlossoM wants to take the top one instead. They're willing to give that up and just match it because that will just neutralize the pressure.
You know, I mean,
this gigantic push.
Yeah, they have 4 Siege Giants coming with this. Like, I think BlossoM should have responded faster. They didn't get this keep either. Like, GLuck can win the game off this. If they make a good play here, this is exactly what GLuck wants. They have Nano Boost available. This could be their fight to end this game right now. BlossoM, I think, has made a mistake here. Riptire's out.
There's some damage from Limi. There's the arrow connecting to multiple. Gets the higher down. That's a good news for
Bison gets a reset here. And here comes the nano boost. This could be Bison's fight. He jumps in. He's on Wiz, forcing him off. Siege Giant's on the core, and it's Sonya we're talking about here, GLuck. This could be the end.
So much siege damage. There's still 4 members alive from BlossoM. Junkrat will do tons of poking damage, and still 30 minutes in. Core is actually really strong as well. So this might actually be a big throw for GLuck. Doing some damage to the core. They're all going very low. Starts to get low. Not really focusing on the heroes, only focusing on the core. That can be done when there's only 2-3 heroes on the opposite side. But when there are 4 left and a Junkrat to poke out.
Yeah, they should have looked for the resets and the kills instead of looking for the core. And I think that was Asgard who made that call. It did not work out. Rockstar's not going to get out of here, but he may be able to save Mycen. Mycen just going back in, trying to delay. The top keep is dead, but BlossoM should be able to end the game in whichever way they would like at this point. There's still even a few shots left in bot temple.
The core is getting damaged from the camp push. Now got all, the entire wall to keep onto the core. Now they just have to make a run. They can just destroy their last keep as well with the tempo shots.
I think BlossoM is going to feel a little bit sheepish after this, though, because they didn't know where GLuck was fully, and they decided to try to take Night Camp. And if that fight actually ends up being a team wipe, then they lose the game. And I think they have to, you know, they're going to win this. They're going to walk away with this knowing, okay, well, there was some missed calls there for GLuck. But this is a game they absolutely, certainly could have lost.
Yes.
In fact, it's not over yet.
Onkono getting focused. There's the arrow to survive. Gets potion. Onkono survives, and temple phase is already over. That's 6:59 on to 4, so we will actually have somewhat longer of the game. But once they hit 20, with 3 keeps down, let's see if GLuck has an answer. This seems really hard.
Well, if they can set up a good engage right now with a nano boost.
Coming from the side.
Meryday's looking for the sleep. Catches the Leeming. That's the biggest target, but there's no one here. He's by himself.
Yeah.
A huge mistake. Huge mistake by Meryday. He's dead. This could be the game for GLuck. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Catapult's on the core, though.
We did see these kind of moments from Meryday a few times. Well, let's see if they can block it. Junkrat with that 16. Has a crazy amount of burst onto multiple targets, and it's actually easy to defend the core call like this.
Yeah, and there's catapults on the core otherwise, so if they just defend a little bit, they win the game. Okay, this is it. This is the fight.
There's the kill, and it seems like that's basically going to be the pressure from all the other lane is way too big for BlossoM. They just have to defend, and they're going to get more kills. They're going to turn things around.
Bunker means that Mycen can't get that reset, and this is going to be the win here. They're all locked up. Riptire is going to kill. It's going to be basically a double. Mycen survives. For now. Dead now. And the core is going down to catapults. Back at home. Rocks are just trying to prevent
First pick Muradin.
mounts. First pick Muradin, indeed.
Well, to survive for a long time. Gets double stacked. Game's already over. And they had 5 men, 5 versus 4 at the end, but they were still not 20. That's number 1. And Junkrat, when you're defending a core call, you can actually have 2 men, and sometimes there are miracles where you just do crazy amount of poke. People don't realize how much burst damage post 16, what Junkrat can actually do.
Yeah, well, that's going to be BlossoM taking the 2-0. A 16.5-minute game with 39 kills. We'll take a look at the post-game stats screen in just a moment, but this is not a game where any of these 5 players walk away feeling like they've accomplished something. This is a game where, as you can see on the faces of them right here live in the studio, there's not a smile. Well, as soon as I say that, Honkono does laugh at the end, but it's not a game you feel good about. It's a game you feel like you've made a lot of mistakes in. In fact, I think GLuck should be happy with what they were able to do with this composition. Mycen 43k damage only, but he was able to do a lot in those fights. And had they, I think you were right, I think had they targeted heroes on their core call rather than trying to get the core itself, with, you know, the stage of the game we were in, we weren't even at 20 yet.
Yeah, it was around 13 minutes into the game. So back in like maybe level 14, 15. So it was really tough. They had to get at least a kill more. They only had 1 kill, I believe. It was a 5v4, and Sonya was just on the core. When she could have actually focused or at least pressured Junkrat